Welcome in, everybody. Meet me at the Coffee Pot Podcast. We're going to do Week 15 picks this week. And it's just me and Eleazar this week. Carlos is out, but we're all thinking about him, and we can't wait for him to get back. And he'll be back and better than ever when he's ready. But we're going to move on with our Week 15 picks. And I'll tell you, I finally got above 500, finally.
Nice, you're back.
I did not get a lock of the week. My lock of the week pushed, and a late field goal caused me to lose my lock of the week and to lose my perfect score prediction. So I almost had the coveted 3-point game, but I didn't. And so I am sitting at 95 and 98 on the year. How are you doing?
I did pretty well last week again. There was that push. I hit my lock again.
Of course.
Didn't get the Monday night game, which I was really hoping for. So I ended up going 11-5 with the push, killing it, which puts me at 103 and 95, which is pretty good.
Leaving me in the dust.
Yeah, last couple. It's just I think it would be a lot closer if I didn't have a 15-2 week. That really pushed me ahead.
That's huge. I mean, so you had a 15-2 week and then 11-5 week. So you've had 26 points in 2 weeks.
Monster.
That's incredible. Are we gonna do the playoffs as just equal points, or are we gonna like tier the point system? So like the Super Bowl's worth 5, and then you know what I mean?
I mean, we could discuss that. We probably should.
Not recording time.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But also, don't worry about it. I do not feel comfortable with this pick.
I don't either.
With the picks this week.
I don't know what's going on this week.
Yeah, I kind of struggled. There's like a 17-point spread. There's a bunch of crazy. It's weird. All right. There's also Thursday game. There's Saturday games this week. I don't know what the NFL is doing right now.
I don't either. You ever been to a Saturday game?
Nope. Only on Sundays.
I went to a Saturday game, which was actually, now that I think about it, it was Bills versus Broncos. December 17th, 2005. I was at that game, and the Bills hosted the Broncos. The Bills were going for their 5th win of the year in the second to last week, so it was a packed house, very exciting.
Who was that?
They lost. Guess who was I would forfeit the competition right now if you can tell me who started at quarterback for the Bills on December 17th, 2005, the game I was at.
I have no idea. Vinny Testaverde.
I figured you'd guess. Kelly Holcomb.
Oh, yeah. There's no way I would have guessed.
No. How many Bills fans could you ask? I mean, not get that.
Who started for the Broncos?
Brian Greasy, I think.
Ooh, that was a star-studded match right there.
It was a big deal. Yeah. Yep.
Awesome game, I bet. What was the final score?
I just clicked off. I'm on the Kelly Holcomb Wikipedia page, so let me just get off there. 28-17 Broncos.
Oof. Dang.
We almost had him.
That fifth win, that's a hard one to get.
Yeah, especially in week 16.
Yeah, at that point, you might as well not get it.
Yeah, it's not. If it hasn't happened yet, it might not. But it did. They beat the Bengals the next week. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, nice. So you got it. Good.
What? No, and the Bengals were good that year. They won 11 games. Okay,
you pretty much just you guys were on the up and up. You guys just ran out of time.
Exactly. If we hadn't just lost to the Jets in week 17 to get our 11th loss,
Yeah.
Who was quarterback for the dude? I could. Oh my gosh,
You're in a hole.
Vinny Testaverde. Vinny Testaverde was quarterback of the Jets. Dude, you were in there.
I was on the right.
Your 2005 AFC East starting quarterbacks. I mean, kind of. I mean, better than most.
All right. So we'll start with Thursday.
We'll edit that out. I apologize.
Yeah, sorry for everybody that had to listen to that. Chargers are playing in Vegas. And honestly, I think this game's going to be interesting. Both of these teams like to do weird things. Anthony Lynn likes to just outcoach himself, which is pretty cool. It's fun to watch.
Every week.
He's so bad.
Dude, he was almost coach of the Bills, by the way.
You guys should have picked him up. Never
I
know.
don't know if people know
Never know where you'd be.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas is a 3.5-point favorite at home, and honestly, I like them. I think they'll bounce back. They've had a rough couple of weeks. I think
their defense is bad.
They really gave it all to try to beat the Chiefs that second time, and since then, I don't think they haven't won, but they got blown out. They barely beat the Jets, and they didn't win last week. I have them coming back this week against a poorly coached Chargers team that likes to find ways to lose. In a one-possession game, I have Vegas 28 and the Chargers 24. Vegas minus 3.5.
I agree with you. Vegas defense has been playing really poorly over the last 3 weeks. Yeah, it's like they went all in mentally and physically against the Chiefs. They're like, this is our big shot, guys. Let's put all the chips in the middle. It's all downhill from here. But it's the Chargers. And I kind of have a theory that I don't know if it's true, but I think this is the time of year where when you're a team who's eliminated from the playoffs, and you're not really playing for anything, and your head coach is already fired or is going to get fired. I think this is the time of year when apathy is really starting to roll in. Like whether you like it or not, like you just can't help it. You're not going anywhere. So it's a short week for these teams too. So I agree with you. Vegas bounces back roughly, but it's a one-possession game, and they win 27-20.
Yep, I like it.
All right, so I'll go right into the Bills game because they play Saturday. The much-anticipated Bills-Broncos Saturday evening rematch from 2005. Most people it's going to be on their minds, so people are going to get up for this game. Bills are playing in Denver. I think I probably complained about this on the podcast before, but I was living in Laramie when the schedule was announced, and I was like, oh, sweet, Buffalo's playing in Denver. I'm going to go watch them. And then I moved to Arizona, and I was like, oh, well. And then the Bills have played in Phoenix twice this year, and I could have seen them then. So, but anyway, I didn't get to see them at all because of the whole everything that's going on. But I think this is going to be a closer game. Denver is kind of a scrappy team, and wow. Drew Lock was lighting it up last week. Looked really good. I'm fully in the jury's still out on him category.
Oh. You think it's still out?
Yeah.
I think he had a good week. I think he's bad.
My jurors are leaning like 8-3, but the it's a hung jury for me.
I don't think he's good. I think Denver has a very talented squad, and I think if they get the right quarterback, they could make a lot of noise.
I agree with you. You know what's interesting, though, is I read today that Drew Lock, he throws the ball over 20 yards down the field more than any other quarterback in the entire NFL. Like 19.7% of all of his passes are over 20 yards. And he leads the entire NFL in air yards. How do I say this? When you throw the ball, how many yards the ball traveled in the air before it gets to its target? He leads the entire league. So they like airing it out, and they can be explosive at times. And they're at home. And so I just think that it's going to make the game close. Buffalo's a 7-point favorite, but I think the Bills win. But I think Denver covers in a one-possession game. Buffalo 27, Denver 23.
All right. I like Denver. Like I said, I think they're very talented. They have a young squad that, their defense is actually pretty good, and their offense, with Judy, they have a good running game. I think, they can definitely ruin people's seasons. Like they're scrappy like that. But the way Buffalo's been playing, if Josh Allen comes out and plays, especially the way he played last week, I think, maybe the Chiefs, I think Buffalo can beat any team in the AFC and probably most teams in the NFC as well. I'm actually excited about Buffalo. I think Buffalo is the team that can beat the Chiefs if it comes down to it in the playoffs. I don't think Pittsburgh can, especially the way they've been playing. I don't think they're talented enough. But I think, Buffalo comes out and play, they can go toe for toe with the Chiefs. I got Buffalo winning this game by 10, 27-17. Buffalo covering.
All right.
And, we'll go right into Carolina in Green Bay. It's gonna be cold. I think it's gonna feel like 20 degrees.
We got 30 degrees and mostly cloudy with a light breeze.
That's not too bad.
That'll be, it could be worse.
Not too bad for Lambeau. Either way, Carolina did not look good. Speaking of Drew, they let Drew Lock go off on them, who I don't think is very good. Their defense is not good. And their offense, I've been very skeptical of Teddy Bridgewater this entire season. So while you believe in him to cover, he hasn't 2 weeks in a row. And I'm going to go ahead and pick Green Bay again. I think Aaron Rodgers is having an MVP caliber season. He's playing awesome. Devontae Adams is really stepping up. I think he's probably one of the best, if not the best receiver in the game right now, other than maybe DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, but he's up there with them. And, I think Green Bay's defense is their weak point, and I think they don't need to be very good to stop Carolina. So I got Green Bay 33, Carolina 13. Green Bay wins, covers easily.
I'm taking the Panthers in this game. I'm taking Teddy Bridgewater. Okay. He actually didn't play awful last week. He completed 30 of 40 passes. I don't know. Denver was just making plays, and they put Carolina behind in the end. But the Packers let the Lions really hang around last week. They didn't have that knockout punch when they really needed it, and it ended up going down. I mean, it's impossible to get an onside kick in the NFL anymore, but it ended up being an onside kick game, and they were able to run out the clock. But I think the Panthers stick around in not as close as the score indicates game, but I'm still taking the Panthers. Green Bay 28, Carolina 21.
Yeah, it's a lot closer than I think it's going to be.
Yeah. I don't know. The Green Bay has had some bad games this year, and I think, they're capable of letting a bad team hang around for sure.
They're also fighting for the number 1 seed in the NFC right now, which is crazy to me.
That's true.
The NFC race is going to come down to week 17, which is exciting because I think everyone's going to play their players all the way through, especially since the 1 seed is so important this year. I think that between the Rams, the Seahawks, the Saints, and the Packers, that's going to come down to the end.
Yeah. And the 1 seed matters so much this year that, it's more valuable than ever. So
that's what they say. Except for, does it balance out because, home field advantage doesn't really mean that much anymore?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to judge. I heard a statistic which was interesting that home teams are winning less this year. It's something around on average. Home teams win 57% of the games, and this year they're only 53. I kind of made those stats up, but it was something in that ballpark. And you can't tell for 1 year if that's because of there's no fans or not, but it's interesting. Okay, Sunday games. I dropped my pencil. San Francisco at Dallas. San Francisco got beat last week by the Washington football team, which I think might actually be kind of good. They're playing really well. Their defense is just ripping people to shreds, and the 49ers were not an exception. They got pushed around last week, but Dallas isn't good either. Okay, they got spanked 2 weeks ago against the Ravens, and then last week they beat the Bengals. So yay.
Andy Dalton revenge game, so I wouldn't even count that as a. That's a novel.
He had to win that. It was destiny. It's destiny. San Francisco is a 3-point favorite, and I like them to cover in kind of a low-scoring, ugly game. San Francisco 23, Dallas 18.
I'm right there with you. I think San Francisco wins this and covers. I'm a little biased because they beat up on the Rams twice this year, so I think San Francisco.
They have to be good.
Yeah, they are good.
They're the best team other than the Rams.
No, but I think they're talented enough to take advantage of the Dallas weaknesses, which is mostly their defense. I think their tackling's bad, and San Francisco's really good at yards after the catch kind of thing. So I got San Francisco 20, Dallas 14, San Francisco -3. Moving ahead, I got Detroit in Tennessee. And honestly, I love Detroit. This spread it was 10.5 this morning. It's 11 points now. So even better. I think Tennessee's playing pretty well, but they, much like Green Bay, they let teams hang around, even bad teams, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think Derrick Henry's going to have a great game because he always does, and he's probably going to run for 200 yards and a touchdown. But I think Detroit hangs around, keeps it close, and I got Tennessee 28, Detroit 21, and that's Detroit plus 11.
I agree with you, and Detroit, there's a lot of guys, I think, I kind of made the statement earlier that it's like when you're kind of eliminated from the playoffs, apathy starts setting in. But it seems like there's a lot of guys on that roster who still have something to prove. Matthew Stafford, including, one of them.
Yeah.
Like maybe auditioning for somewhere else.
Yeah, like is he going to have a job next year?
Yeah, like I'm sure he is, but you want to go out in the off. If you're Matthew Stafford, you want to go in the off season on a high note because it's going to make a big difference. It could make a huge difference. So, I think I picked my game 10 points. Tennessee 33, Detroit 23, just because Tennessee's like a superior team. But so they're going to win in the end. But like you said, I think Detroit hangs around, and I think the Titans let them hang around. So I'm going with Detroit plus 11 as well.
Sweet.
All right. Seattle is at Washington. And like I just said, I like what Washington's doing, and I really like their defense. And Chase Young is like a complete world wrecker on the defensive side. He's really fun to watch. Scored a touchdown last week. Seattle doesn't. I mean, man, they put the Jets away, right? But you can't make game analysis the week after anyone plays the Jets.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna act like that didn't happen. And we're gonna go with Seattle has been playing in a lot of close games too, and their defense is not good enough to shut anyone down. So I'm taking Seattle's a 5-point favorite, and I think they win a really close game. Seattle 27, Washington 25, but I'm taking Washington plus
5. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much exactly the same, almost exactly in the same place with that. I think Washington's defense is going to be able to slow down Seattle. Not enough to win the game, but enough to keep it close. And I think, Washington's offense isn't very good, but Seattle's defense, I think, is going to let them score some points. And I've got Seattle 27, Washington 24, Washington plus 5. And, I mean, I'm cheering for Washington. I'm not going to lie, but.
Me too. I don't know why.
I know why, because I don't like Seattle, but also.
No, I mean, just week to week, I've been like, all right.
Washington's for winning. Sure.
That's cool.
I mean, Chase Young's a beast. He's awesome. That defensive front is awesome to watch. They're fun to watch.
And it's a cool story with Alex Smith, obviously.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty cool. All right, Houston's playing in Indianapolis. Houston officially eliminated from playoffs last week, so it sucks because Deshaun Watson's a generational talent, and he needs some help because he's been playing so well, and they just keep losing.
Oh, well, they better find it in the second round and beyond.
It's true. You can't even get help. He needs to figure out a way to get out of there. Yeah, pretty much. I think Indianapolis is playing pretty good football. I have them covering. It's 7.5 point spread, and I have Indianapolis 26, Houston 16, Indy minus 7.5 points.
I'm kind of just going with, like, historically, these games have been always really close, even back when Peyton Manning was there, and I was watching Colts games every weekend. Houston was always a really tough game. It's at home in Indianapolis. I think the Colts win for sure. When everyone's healthy, they have a really good defense, and they got an offense that can score points, even with Phillip Rivers leading them. He's been playing really well of late.
Phillip Rivers is playing pretty well recently. He's finding his groove.
Absolutely. So I think the Colts win this game, but I think they win by a touchdown. And I'm taking Indianapolis 30, Houston 23. So I'm taking Houston.
Houston with the points. Nice.
Mm-hmm. All right, Chicago's at Minnesota. Minnesota's a 3.5-point favorite. I'm surprised it's not like a 1-point game. Either way, I'm taking Chicago all day on that. They looked really good last week. It's Mitch Trubisky has finally arrived. He's the heir apparent to the number one quarterback in the NFC North. Probably not, but I don't like Minnesota, so I'm taking Chicago, and I'm taking Chicago to win outright at Minnesota. Minnesota's just, I don't know, maybe they'll figure it out and put it together next year and make a run, but they're just perpetually underachievers. So I'm taking Chicago 26, Minnesota 24.
Yeah, I think this game is going to come down to which quarterback decides to come out and play. Both of them are very inconsistent, but I mean, Mr. Trubisky had a breakout game last week. I mean, I guess not very good
His career.
I do like looking at all, like, the big story was Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky got picked over Mahomes and Deshaun Watson that year, and every time they play each other, they have all the graphics of, like, their records and how Mitch Trubisky went second overall.
How stupid the Bears are.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, that's the picture they paint.
And but I think their defense comes out and plays. I mean, Khalil Mack's having a pretty good season. His numbers aren't up there, but he's been dominating on the defensive line. The defense is still very good, and if they can stop Minnesota's run, I think that really limits what Kirk Cousins can do. And I hope that happens. I got Chicago 24, Minnesota 20, Chicago minus 3.5.
Chicago plus 3.5.
Yeah, I'm winning outright.
Right, Chicago's the underdog, and we're both taking them outright.
Yep, sweet.
So they have to win.
Yeah, there's no way they lose on that one. So I've never missed.
All right, I think you're up.
All right, so we'll go to Miami. New England's in Miami, and give me the weather on this one. I think this is important.
It's in Miami. You want to take a guess?
70 degrees, 75?
76, clear, 5-mile-an-hour winds.
It's hot. It's going to be hot.
Yeah.
I think in these winter games, I think the warm weather teams, as much of an advantage as the cold weather teams have at home, I think the warm weather teams have an advantage when cold weather teams come down to play. It's going to be like, there's going to be like all like the side.
86, it's 76.
It's going to be like the sideline. It's still warm, dude. 76 degrees at this point. It's like, it's going to be hot. They're going to be people sweating.
They have the Mr. fans going.
It's going to be sunny outside. It's going to be like one of those classic Miami winter games, the sun shining. And honestly, I like the way Miami's playing. So they're a 2.5-point favorite in this game, and I'm surprised it's not more. I thought it would be higher. New England's offense isn't playing very well. I mean, they did play the Rams defense last week, which was a pretty good defense. Miami's defense is also playing very well, and I think I made the score closer just because the spread is so small. I made it closer than I think it's actually going to be. I got Miami 27, New England 24. I got Miami minus 2.5. I think Miami probably wins by more.
All right, this is my big upset of the week. New England's going to win this game outright. Okay. New England got absolutely pushed just completely dominated on offense. They couldn't do anything against the Rams. The Rams have a really good defense. And New England's defense was on the field for 50 of the 60 minutes. It felt like just complete domination. Like the score was 24-3. It didn't even feel that close. They were completely outclassed by the Rams. But to the average, to slightly above average opponents in the NFL, the New England Patriots have actually been playing really well. They won 4 out of 5 with a one-possession loss. Loss to Houston. And I think they're kind of a dangerous team still. And they're actually not eliminated from the playoffs yet. And I just don't think the Rams – they're in the hunt, right? How's it feel, New England? You're just in the hunt. And I don't know, that Rams game I don't think was indicative of what this week's going to be. Bill Belichick has played he just plays his division opponents so well because he knows them so well, and he's kicked the crap out of them for 20 straight years. That I think it's definitely going to be a close game, and I think New England's going to win it late. New England 24, Miami 21.
New England doesn't have a good quarterback. What do you think happens next year?
Sometimes it doesn't matter.
Who do you think starting at quarterback next year for New England? Cam Newton?
Matt Stafford.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be Cam, honestly.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Things going back?
Mm-hmm. Nick Mullins? There's no way it's Cam Newton, dude.
Nick Mullins takes the job in San Francisco and Jimmy G goes back. I don't think that's going to happen either.
No, I think you heard it here first. I think the 49ers draft a quarterback, and then Jimmy G gets traded back to New England.
I don't know. There's a pretty good quarterbacks in this draft, so yeah, that's pretty deep.
And they're gonna have a higher pick because San Francisco had a bad year.
And they don't have that bad of a year. They're still in the hunt too. In the hunt.
Are they?
Oh yeah.
They lost. Okay. All right, where are we going? Jacksonville or Baltimore? Baltimore came through for me. I was really proud of them. I said that Baltimore's not losing to the Browns, and they're not losing to the Browns anytime soon. So they came through me at the end.
They tried.
With some what Rios claimed was manufactured drama, which maybe he's right.
I went on Twitter, and every once in a while I'll scroll through like what's trending, and Imodium was trending, and I'm like, that's what I clicked it, and it was nothing but I'm like, oh, I didn't know it was a football. There's a football trend. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. So Jacksonville's terrible, but here's the kicker. Okay, they're 13.5-point underdogs. And you know me, that's too many points for me. Okay, so I have the scores spread out as far as I can. Jacksonville 17, Baltimore 30. So I have Jacksonville losing by 13, and I'm taking Jacksonville plus 13.5.
All right, same thing. I got Baltimore 30, Jacksonville 17.
No way.
And here's the thing. I don't even know who's starting quarterback for Jacksonville. I think Minshew's back in.
Minshew's back.
Which is pretty cool. That's exciting to watch. It's going to be bad, but it's going to be fun to watch. Yeah, I think I spread it out as far as I could. I did the exact same thing you did. I'm like, spread it out, and I got 30-17.
All right.
I'll jump into the Rams game. Afternoon game in LA. Jets are playing horribly. They got absolutely stomped by Seattle last week. And I watched a lot of the game. I lied. I watched a lot of the first half of the game. And they're bad. It's just like all around. There's they're blowing coverages. They're getting beat. Every way that you can get beat, they're getting beat. I don't know. I think they're just keeping Adam Gase there so that he can finish losing the rest of the games and they can get a high draft pick. I think they don't want to risk, the new coach boost and accidentally win a game. I think that's what so I think they're just waiting to the end of your fire him because he hasn't done anything. He just, I don't know. It's almost as if they're not trying. Biggest spread I think I've seen this year. The Rams are a 17-point favorite.
The Chiefs were 19.5, 20.
Oh, yeah, sure. They were like 20 points. That's true.
I don't remember who that was. Was that against the Jets? Yeah, it was.
It was against the Jets, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. We have to look up what the record for, going into a game with the biggest spread of all time was. That's pretty – that's got to be – it's got to be in the 20s, right? I don't think it'll be higher than that.
Yeah, it's got to be 25. College spreads are 38.
Yeah, those are insane. I don't know how people gamble on college or even – I'll fake gamble on it all day. But but anyways, I love the way the Rams are playing. And with that being said, this is a first for the podcast, I'm pretty sure. I've got the Rams winning and covering. I got the Rams 27, the Jets 0. I'm putting up first ever goose egg predicted on this podcast. I don't think they score. I don't think they score on our defense.
Okay. I deserve to lose this game because I'm picking the Jets. No one has any business picking the Jets for anything, and I can't even argue with anything you said. You're right, but I'm still taking the Jets because it's just 17 points. Okay,
They've been getting beat by 40 consistently.
You're not wrong, dude. I'm not even gonna argue. Okay, I will say this to deflect from my poor decision making. I will let you know that the largest point spread in NFL history was in 2013 when the Denver Broncos were 28-point home favorites over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, so that's a long way of me saying Jets 13, Rams 28.
So here's the thing. I was on the same page as you. I'm like, there's no way I'm picking an NFL team to win by 17 points, But I watched the Seattle game, and I think the Rams are better than Seattle. Like, I've watched the Rams beat up on Seattle, and Seattle I don't think they stopped them once. They just kept scoring, and they go back and they score again. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. You're gonna be right. Okay, so there. All right. Moving on. Tampa Bay at Atlanta. Tampa Bay is a 6-point favorite. If you've been following this show, you'll see for some reason all year I've been picking the Falcons. I don't really know why. I don't know. Maybe because they should be able to score points. Maybe because their score at some point should start with a 2. Like, you think they could score 20 points?
I think the Falcons, we have the same delusional thinking about the Falcons that we do about Detroit, where we're like, yeah, they're probably going to lose because they suck, but they should score points.
Exactly.
I'm the exact same way. So I know where you're coming from. Like, they have so much talent. They have to be able to score points.
Yeah, it's like, I'll just put them down for 23, and then we'll see where, they'll score like 24 points, and then we'll just see where they go. But they don't score 24 points. They scored 17 last week. They scored 16 the week before. It's a total disaster. So they have no business. They have no business hanging around Tampa Bay, and I'm taking Tampa Bay 27, Atlanta 17.
I completely agree. I think Tampa Bay's actually playing pretty well, and I was actually talking about it at work, and different scenarios for the Rams getting into the playoffs, and I think Tampa Bay is one of the teams that I don't want to play again. It's hard to beat an NFL team twice in the same season. I definitely don't want to go, even if it's at home. I don't want to play against Tampa Bay and Tom Brady in the playoffs. I think they're playing really well. Tom Brady looked good last week. He's still got a little bit of an arm. He was throwing it pretty far last week. And I've got Tampa Bay 27, Atlanta 20. So Tampa Bay -6. All right, I'm up. We'll go to Arizona or Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts is playing. He honestly, he had the win. He got the win last week, but much like Tua's first game, he didn't do all that great. He I don't remember his numbers specifically, but he had like a decent game. There was a pick six that probably should have been returned for pick six, but the defender just dropped it, which would have hurt his numbers a lot. And that's the game right there. That happens. You never know. New Orleans came back and almost won that without that. So Philadelphia, although they are exciting, Jalen Hurts adds a little bit of excitement to the game. He's good out of the pocket, and he doesn't make as many mistakes and turn the ball over as much as Carson Wentz, at least not this season. Based on the one game that we saw Jalen Hurts, of course. Don't take that. Take that with a grain of salt. Philadelphia, I have them losing in Arizona. I think Arizona bounced back. They've been, very inconsistent. I don't know. I still don't know if they're good or not. I think some weeks they show up and their offense looks awesome, and then some weeks they're bad. And I don't think they're good enough to be a contender in the playoffs. But I think they have a decent team. I think the talent's there, and I think they can score points. I have them winning 21-20, but I do have Philadelphia covering +6.5.
What would you score?
21-20.
I agree with what you're saying. I'm taking the Eagles too. I have Philadelphia 21, Arizona 25. I think the Cardinals are 7-6, which is not good. It's average. And I still think they're overrated. Like, people love the Cardinals. I don't know what it is. It's because people love Kyler Murray, and I don't know why that is either.
I like DeAndre Hopkins.
I like DeAndre Hopkins too.
I don't like Kyler Murray that much, but I think if you have a quarterback that can figure out how to throw it up and let DeAndre Hopkins make a play, that's all you really need.
Yeah, but just people think Kyler Murray is so good, and I feel like rookie and second-year quarterbacks, people are really critical about them because they typically come in and struggle a little bit. I mean, people killed Josh Allen, right? People killed Sam Darnold. Like, I just don't know why people think he's that good.
People kill Josh Rosen.
Yeah. Undeservedly so, according to some.
Definitely
not me, but some. Anyway, that's a long-winded way of me saying I think Kyler Murray's overrated. I think Cliff Kingsbury is overrated, and I think the Cardinals are overrated. But I think they're going to win the game. But I'm taking Philadelphia plus 6.5.
Is Cliff Kingsbury overrated? Do people think he's good?
Yeah, dude. They think he's like Big 12 air raid offensive wonder boy.
Because I don't think he's good.
I don't think he's good.
I think he's single-handedly lost the Cardinals at least one game this year.
Dude, people think he's good. Cardinals fans too. Can I just say this? We might lose a big chunk of our local Arizona audience here, but I'm going to say it anyway. When I work weekends, I listen to Arizona post-game on the radio when I'm driving home. And Cardinals fans are just not. They're not smart. They're not good football fans, dude. They don't know what's up and down.
They're not.
But I'm right?
I'm not
completely out of line.
No, they're not. But a lot of fan bases have just dumb fans. I was listening to local Jacksonville radio the other day. I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago when they were trying to decide who was playing quarterback, and one of the guys was like, "It doesn't really." I think one of the coaches said it didn't really matter who's up the quarterback or something like that, and the radio guys were like, "It does matter because the fans here, we want to win games." And I'm like, at this point, dude, you don't want to win games. Why are you trying to win games anymore? You guys need to go full tank at this point.
There's kind of that's a separate topic, but there's kind of an argument for wanting to win games instead of tanking because it's like you've been tanking for 30 years, okay? So maybe mix it up, you know?
No, I mean,
maybe do something better. Maybe do something different.
No, I get it, like at the beginning of the season, but once you're in week 13, 14, and you've only won one game.
No, I mean, I hear you, especially this year. Maybe it's not a good argument this year because of who the number one draft prospect is, but
right now Jacksonville still has a chance at getting the number one pick, and they need a quarterback.
You don't believe in Gardner Minshew, dude?
No, I'd rather have Trace McSorley starting.
I think Gene Merriman, we haven't mentioned him yet. He was like, this field is slippery. Someone's going to get hurt. And then Trace McSorley slipped and got a non-contact knee injury. And I was like, dang.
He's IR. He'll be back for the playoffs.
Well, good, because they're going to need him. I don't know. All right. Kansas City at New Orleans. This was a pretty easy one for me. Kansas City is a 3-point favorite. And as long as New Orleans is having a fullback kick returner play quarterback, like, I'm taking Chiefs, who are the best team in the NFL. So this is easy for me. New Orleans has a good enough defense, I think, to make it close. And, like, as we said before, Kansas City actually does end up playing a lot of close games. But I think they win this one in the Dome. They're going to be slinging it around. Kansas City 28, New Orleans 24. Kansas City minus 3.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think, but that New Orleans defense is scary. And honestly, I think if you want to slow down Kansas City, it has to be with pressure on Patrick Mahomes. But at the same time, you can't let him get outside the pocket, which, easier said than done, obviously. And his receivers are so good. Last week they were kind of struggling in the first quarter until eventually they're like, well, we could just, give it to, Tyreek Hill. We'll just hand him the ball instead of throwing it to him, and then he'll just run by everybody. Which is exactly what happened. He just scored because he was faster than everybody on the field. And with Kansas City's ability to score, I mean, they can beat anyone. obviously, because they're Super Bowl champions and they're number one in the league right now. But they can also, they're never out of a game. They're super terrifying. Honestly, I hope the Bills beat them in the playoffs.
Me too, man.
Yeah, there we go. But can
I make a quick comment about that?
What's up?
I think that I agree with what you said earlier, where I think the Bills, out of all teams, have a good shot, over a team like Pittsburgh, because at the end of the day, even in the playoffs, you're gonna have to have a team that can offensively go blow for blow with the Chiefs. You're gonna have to have a team that can, immediately turn around and have an answer on offense, and you know what I mean, not let the game get away from them. And these kind of low-scoring, hard-nosed defense teams, that usually really is a good recipe for success in the playoffs. But it's like a team. It's almost just like a team at Kansas City. At some point, there's going to be some 15-minute stretch in the game where if you don't have the offense to answer back, it's going to get away from you. And I think the Bills have a chance at that. That's why I like the Bills.
Kansas City doesn't score. No, that's just going to happen. You can slow them down, but eventually they're going to score. And I completely agree. You need an offense. I got Kansas City 30, New Orleans 26, Kansas City -3.
All right, so we're in agreement there. Cleveland at New York Giants. This is scheduled for Sunday night, unless they flex it out or whatever. I don't know if it's too late for that, but
I don't think they can flex this week. I think we're stuck watching Cleveland and the Giants.
All right, Cleveland, primetime back-to-back weeks. Let's go. Daniel Jones is not good, and they're going to move on from him. I mean,
he was hurt last week, and he was very obviously hurt last week. He couldn't move.
All right, maybe the Giants organization is bad for not managing their personnel properly. I still don't think he's good because he was bad before last week. But, you're not wrong. Cleveland's playing well. They're playing well at the right time. They get owned by the Ravens. They're not going to beat the Ravens anytime soon. But the Giants aren't the Ravens, and I think they win this game. Cleveland's a 4-point favorite. And I think they're going to be able to score against the Giants, and I think they're going to cover this easily. Cleveland 31, Giants 21.
I completely agree. I think, and I've said it the last 2-3 weeks, Nick Chubb changed that offense. Baker Mayfield looks good. He looks good off the play action. I think he has a good game against a struggling Giants team. They got Cleveland 28, Giants 20, Cleveland -4.
All right.
And I guess we'll hop right into the Monday night game. The Pittsburgh Steelers are playing in Cincinnati. Another large spread, obviously. Cincinnati getting beat by the Cowboys. Cincinnati's offense made the Cowboys' defense look good last week. The Cowboys' defense looked like a good defense last week, which says a lot about Cincinnati's offense, especially without Joe Burrow. Pittsburgh's been struggling. They're on a 2-game skid, but they've played good teams. And I think, if there's any time to play Cincinnati, this is it. There's a bounce back game right when they need it. Pittsburgh 24, Cincinnati 7. I think they dominate. I don't even think it's that close. I think they give Cincinnati a touchdown. But
dude, just pick your second 0 for the week.
I'm not gonna pick 2 zeros.
You're right. Okay, I agree.
I'm gonna jinx the Rams.
Yeah, this is a total get-right game for the Steelers. They're not gonna lose. They're not gonna lose 3 games in a row, and their third game of the loss be against the Bengals and Ryan Finley or whoever is playing quarterback. I don't even know. No one knows. No one knows who their quarterback is. You could watch the game and not really know who they're.
I watched a lot of it. I don't remember who the quarterback is.
Exactly. So Pittsburgh's winning this game, and I you know me, I don't really like the double-digit point spreads, but this one's happening, dude. Pittsburgh's going to cover this game. So Pittsburgh 27, Cincinnati 13, taking Pittsburgh -12.
I think Pittsburgh can use this game as a practice, catching the ball. Because the last 2 weeks, oh my goodness, those receivers are dropping everything. I don't know what's going on.
They were helping out. Yeah, they were helping. They were putting the pressure on themselves, or putting themselves in 3rd and long for no reason against the Bills.
It's ridiculous. There was so many drop passes.
Dude, I don't know the statistics, but the Steelers must have blitzed on 80% of the plays against the Bills. I mean, they brought 8 guys like 60% of the time. It was crazy, dude. 7 guys, I should say. They were blitzing like insane, and I wonder. It'd be interesting. Not that I'm gonna watch this game, but against Cincinnati, but it would be no. I will. It's Monday Night Football, of course. I'll watch every second. But
I'll probably watch it. I have the 2 TVs going. I watch every game. It's crazy.
I know it's really cool. I want to come to your house. It'd be interesting to see if they can. If that was, I haven't seen Pittsburgh enough this year. Is what I'm saying to know if that was the strategy against Bills and Josh Allen, or if that's really as aggressive as this defense is going to be, because it was something to watch. I mean, they were going in, and it worked in the first half. Josh Allen started off really slow. The Bills' offense was really clunky, and Pittsburgh actually got up to a 7-0 start. But then they made halftime adjustments, and they adjusted to that pressure, and they were just getting the ball out, and they were just tearing them up. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Honestly, I think that's how you beat Josh Allen in the Bills. I think you got to put pressure on. I mean, if you remember against the Rams, which is like the game. I mean, I watched a lot of Bills games, but that's the one I paid most attention to. Is in the first half they weren't getting that much pressure on Josh Allen, and he was tearing them apart. And in the second half, they just started sending it in on Josh Allen.
But the key in the Rams game is they were sending it in, and they were getting and the Rams were getting pressure with 4 some of the time.
Yeah.
And if it's not an excuse, okay, it's just true. The Bills were down at one point in the Bills game. They had no backup line. Like if one more lineman got hurt, a tight end was playing tackle. Like it's just the way it was. But the key is with the Rams defense is they have an absolute lockdown corner, so you don't leave Stephon Diggs one-on-one with somebody. You know what I mean? Like he was able to handle his own, because that's what happened in Pittsburgh. They just kept bringing guys, and Diggs is going to be one guy one-on-one. And that's what he did against San Francisco too. He was beating Richard Sherman one-on-one. I mean, it wasn't even, he could do that. So Josh Allen could take 2 steps and just throw the ball to Stephon Diggs and be like, go.
I'm actually super excited to watch the Rams defense against the Jets, because usually you're absolutely right. Jalen Ramsey takes down one receiver by himself on one side of the field.
Hurts?
What?
I think I might have called him Jalen Hurts. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you might have. Jalen Ramsey takes that one receiver by himself. He just probably like either the number 2 or the number 1. He just takes him out of the game completely. And then the rest of the defense just focuses on the whole other side of the field. Yeah. We got pressure with 4 guys because we have, mostly Aaron Donald getting double and triple team. So someone's sitting open. And even then, sometimes it's Aaron Donald that gets in. And, I'm excited because I don't even know who the Jets' number 1 receiver is. So, are they who's gonna catch the ball?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Goose egg, I'm calling it.
Perriman? Does that ring a bell? Is he even on the Jets? Did I make that up? Is he a college player? What's it? Yeah, I'm right. It's Brashad Perriman.
Oh, Perriman? Yeah. He's a receiver.
Yeah, he plays wide receiver in the NFL. That is true. No, I don't know. He might be hurt. He's only played 3 games. All right, I'm done breaking down the Jets.
That'll be fun. All right. You pick first?
Yeah.
I'm not worried, honestly, because my first lock of the week, you picked the other team to win, so I'm not even – you can do it.
I wrote down 2, and I like them both.
Same.
But one feels more sure to me, so I'm going to take Cleveland -4 as my lock of the week.
All right. What was the other one? I'll tell mine, and then you can tell me the other one.
Okay.
So I also wrote down 2, and I had my second one was Philadelphia and Arizona. Philadelphia plus 6.5. I like it. I don't think Arizona's going to win by 1 touchdown. But I'm going with, and this is what I'm saying, I wasn't worried. I'm going with Miami -2.5 over New England. That's my lock of the week.
All right.
What was the other one?
My other lock, my backup lock was Kansas City over New Orleans. I mean, a field goal game against a backup quarterback, I'll take that.
What if Jameis got in?
Oh, then I would take the Saints outright, dude. I'm a huge Jameis. I don't know how over the course of this season, and not having taken one snap, I became a Jameis Winston fan. Maybe it's because he's not playing. I think he's good now.
The Jameis Winston holding the clipboard meme is probably one of my favorites. So
yeah,
I might make that my banner next week. Who knows?
I like your banner now, by the way.
Yeah, Danny Trejo, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude, you can get all right, everybody, you can get us at me at Coffee Pot, and you can go to Rios' Twitter from there. It's linked to see his banner because you're going to want to. And real quick, I want to say, check out our Twitter and our YouTube page. We got the new logo, and we really like the way it turned out, and we're gonna get the details on who made that for us and where you can get their work, and we're gonna get that to you next week. So stay tuned for that, and go check out the logo and tell us what you think.
And we'll tweet it and share it, so you'll be able to get there from our Twitter page as well.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everybody.
Talk to you soon.